All right, get this, folks. Traveling with pets. It's like exploding right now. We're talking about, chartered flights for dogs, hotels with like actual canine menus. There's even, get this, a dog-friendly cruise. We're diving deep today into a whole pile of articles on this, and we're going to be pulling most of our info from National Geographic Traveler, the UK edition.
It's pretty amazing to see how much this has changed, bringing your pet on vacation used to be this rare thing, but now it's becoming, almost normal.
Totally. And the numbers, they're kind of mind-blowing. One article mentions this Alliance survey, and get this, over 40% of U.S. travelers between 34 and 54 are planning to, bring their pets with them on their next trip.
Wow.
And in the UK, one study predicted that the market for, dog-friendly travel could reach, wait for it, £40 billion by 2030.
That's not just a lot of dog biscuits. That's a huge chunk of the economy. So what's going on here? Why is everyone suddenly traveling with their pets?
Well, it's a few things, really. There was that huge pet boom during the pandemic.
Yeah.
So people got used to having their furry friends around all the time. And now they don't want to leave them behind when they go on trips.
Yeah, that makes sense. Plus, so many people are working from home now, which means they get to spend even more time with their pets. Makes it harder to say goodbye for a vacation.
And don't forget about how expensive pet sitters have become. In some places, it can cost you, over £50 a night. So traveling with your pet can actually be, cheaper.
Yeah, you're right. It's like this perfect storm of social and economic factors that are driving this whole pet travel revolution. And the travel industry, they're definitely taking notice. They're changing everything to try and accommodate all these new travelers.
And speaking of changes, remember Kimpton Hotels? They've always been pretty pet-friendly, but now they're, really going all out.
Yeah, their motto is any pet that fits in the elevator is welcome. And they have all these great perks like canine menus, and they even give you branded bowls for your pet in the room.
Oh, that's cool. They're really catering to those, the fancy pets out there.
Right.
But the UK, I got to say, they're giving Kimpton a run for their money with some pretty luxurious options, too.
Oh, for sure. We're talking 4-poster beds for dogs at some of the Devonshire hotels and the Homewood Hotel near Bath. It even has a dog creche.
A dog creche?
Yeah, you can drop your dog off and they can play with other dogs while you go to the spa or whatever.
Wow, that's like doggy daycare meets a luxury hotel. And, for people who prefer, self-catering accommodations, having a fenced garden is, a really big deal. One article mentioned that Pause and Stay, it's this dog-friendly booking site. They said 70% of their bookings in 2024 went to properties with enclosures.
Yeah, I get that. It gives you peace of mind knowing your dog can run around and, not bother anyone else or run off. It's all about creating a comfortable experience for both the pet and the owner, right?
Totally. And it's not just hotels that are getting in on the action. Museums and attractions are becoming more pet-friendly, too.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that you can, explore the Tower of London or go to the Cotswold Wildlife Park with your dog. It's a whole new way to experience these places.
It's true. You can really broaden your horizons, both, literally and figuratively. But wait, it gets even better. The world's first dog-friendly cruise is setting sail in November 2024.
Whoa, seriously? A cruise just for dogs?
It's not exactly just for dogs, but it's designed with them in mind. This ship will be sailing from Florida and has room for 250 dogs.
Wow.
And of course, it can also accommodate 2,650 human passengers. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why not a dog-only cruise? But then, who would captain the ship?
Good point. I don't think the dogs are quite ready to take the helm just yet. But this does bring up another point, though. Cruises seem like a pretty chill way to travel with your pet. But what about flying? Is that getting any easier?
Well, that's where things get a little tricky.
Yeah.
In the UK, for example, only assistance dogs are allowed to travel in the cabin.
Oh, wow.
All other animals have to fly in the hold.
So it sounds like the UK is pretty strict. What about the US and Europe?
It's kind of all over the place. It really depends on the airline and how big your pet is. Usually, smaller animals can travel in the cabin as long as they're in a carrier that fits under the seat. But for people with bigger dogs, well,
they're stuck with the whole cargo travel thing, which can be pretty stressful for both the pet and the owner.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where things get interesting. Get ready for this private jets for dogs.
Wait, private jets? Wow, some people are really going all out for their pets. Tell me more about that.
Well, with airlines getting stricter about pets, Some owners are looking for a more comfortable way to travel with their furry friends. And let's be honest, is pretty luxurious.
I bet. But I'm guessing it probably costs a fortune, too.
Oh, yeah. A flight with a company like Bark Air, which flies between cities like New York and London, can cost around $8,000 per person. That's like 6,300 pounds.
Yikes, that's definitely a splurge. So for those of us who aren't, jet-setting with our pets, what are some more affordable options?
Train travel is a great alternative, especially in Europe. In the UK, pets actually travel for free on all train services.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
What about on the continent? Are there any similar deals?
Totally. On a lot of continental trains, you can bring your pet along for a discounted ticket.
That's good to know. And are there any other advantages to train travel with pets?
Oh, yeah, definitely. For example, on sleeper services to Cornwall and Scotland, you can actually bring your pet into your cabin for a small fee.
That sounds a lot more relaxing for both the pet and the owner. So with all these options, what do the pet travel experts recommend?
Well, one article featured tips from Adam Fahmy. He's a TV dog behaviorist.
Okay.
And his biggest piece of advice is planning and research are essential.
Yeah, that makes sense. You want to make sure your destination is, actually pet-friendly and understand all the rules and restrictions they might have.
Right. Before you book anything, always check the pet policies for hotels, restaurants, attractions, and of course, your transportation.
And what about helping your pet adjust to, the whole travel experience? Any tips for that?
Fahmy suggests packing familiar things from home, like your pet's bed, toys, even their food and water bowls. Having those familiar things can help them feel more secure and less anxious in a new environment.
Yeah, creating a comfortable and familiar space for them can make a big difference. So, okay, we've talked about the surge in pet-friendly travel and some pretty amazing options for people who want to explore the world with their furry friends. It seems like there's a whole new industry popping up around this with hotels going above and beyond to cater to pets.
Yeah, totally. But there's something else here that I find really fascinating. This pet travel boom, it's not just about convenience. It's it shows how our relationship with our pets is changing.
Yeah, I agree. It's not just about taking care of them anymore. It's about recognizing them as part of the family and wanting to give them enriching experiences. It's really interesting to see how this is evolving.
It really is. So are you ready to dive a little deeper into this shift and what it says about how we see our pets today?
Yeah, let's get into it. It's a topic that's both heartwarming and really insightful. It really is heartwarming to see the travel industry finally catching up and realizing, that for a lot of people, pets are family, right? It's not just about putting up with them anymore. It's about welcoming them.
It's true. And it really shows, I think, this whole trend, how our relationship with our pets is changing, as a society.
I agree. It's gone way beyond just, providing for their basic needs. Now it's we want to give them these amazing experiences and build memories together.
The fact that hotels are offering dog crutches and 4-poster beds for dogs, it's kind of crazy. It's definitely a far cry from back in the day when pet friendly just meant a bowl of water and maybe a reluctant smile.
Yeah, exactly. Even museums and attractions are getting on board now, the Tower of London. Can you imagine walking around those historic grounds with your furry friend? It would have been unheard of a few years ago.
It's true. It's true. And that dog-friendly cruise, I'm picturing myself, sipping a cocktail on deck with my dog. Sign me up.
Hey, it sounds pretty tempting. But with all these new options popping up, we can't forget that, traveling with pets still takes some careful planning.
You're right. You're right. It's not as simple as just showing up at the airport with your dog and expecting to get on any flight.
Right, exactly. Like we were talking about earlier, those airline regulations, they can be a real headache. And they're often totally different from one airline to the next. So yeah, doing your research beforehand is super important.
Yeah, absolutely. And even if your pet is, allowed in the cabin, you got to make sure that they're comfortable and ready for the journey, right?
Like those tips from Adam Fahmy, remember? Packing familiar things like their bed, toys, and bowls. That can really help keep them, calm and reduce stress. Absolutely. And don't forget about their food. You want to bring enough of their regular food to last the whole trip. So they don't get an upset stomach from a sudden change.
Oh, yeah. Good point. Another thing I've learned is to always bring copies of their their vaccination records and any medications they're taking, just in case.
Right, yeah. Those are essential travel documents for your furry friend. And even when you're driving, you got to make sure your pet is safely secured in the car, whether it's with a harness or in a crate.
Safety first, absolutely. And speaking of being prepared, finding truly pet-friendly accommodations, it takes more than just seeing that pet's allowed box checked.
You got it. It's about finding places that really go the extra mile, places with designated walking areas or dog parks or maybe even pet sitting services. And don't be afraid to ask questions.
Yeah, for sure. Ask about, are there any restrictions on pet size or breed or potential extra fees, even cleaning policies?
Yeah.
Especially if you have allergies. It's good to know how they handle, like, pet hair and sanitization.
And it's also just common courtesy, to let your hosts or your fellow travelers know that you're bringing a pet, especially if anyone has allergies or is sensitive to animals.
Yeah, good reminder. Transparency and respect are key.
Yeah.
Okay, but now for the fun part, right? Planning your pet-friendly itinerary, and with so many destinations becoming more pet-friendly, I mean, the possibilities are kind of endless.
Yeah, for real. Thinking of a beach vacation, a mountain getaway, a city adventure, there's a pet-friendly option out there for pretty much everyone.
I know. Imagine hiking those scenic trails with your dog, or exploring a cute little seaside town with your cat, nestled in a carrier.
And let's not forget about all those pet-friendly restaurants and cafes that are popping up everywhere. Enjoying a meal with your furry friend right there beside you is becoming more and more normal.
It's all about creating those shared experiences and those memories that last, right? Speaking of which, I was reading some really inspiring stories on these pet travel forums the other day.
Oh, yeah. I love hearing about people's adventures with their pets.
Like, there was this one woman who hiked the Camino de Santiago in Spain with her dog. They walked for miles every day, camped out under the stars, and it was clear that they really bonded over their shared love of adventure.
Wow. That's amazing. That's a trip to remember.
And then there was this couple who shared photos from their cross-country road trip across the U.S. with their two cats. They visited, like, all these national parks and quirky roadside attractions, and they even went to a cat convention in Las Vegas.
Wow, that's living the dream. It just goes to show that with a little bit of planning and a lot of love, you can create some incredible travel memories with your pet no matter where you go.
Right, and it's not just about the memories. It's about strengthening that bond that you have with your pet, and it kind of reinforces the idea that there's so much more than just pets. Their family, their adventure buddies, and they're these amazing sources of unconditional love.
So true. And as the world becomes more and more pet friendly, I think we're going to see even more people embracing this whole idea of traveling with their animals. It's definitely a trend I'm happy to see.
Me too. But let's be realistic for a second. While there are, like, tons of benefits to pet-friendly travel, we got to acknowledge that there are also some potential challenges.
That's a good point. It's not always going to be smooth sailing, and being aware of the potential downsides can help us be more prepared, right?
Right. Yeah. Like, for one thing, traveling with pets can be more expensive than traveling solo. You've got pet fees for hotels and transportation, and then there's always the possibility of unexpected vet bills if your pet gets sick on the road.
And even if you plan everything perfectly, things can still go wrong, Flights get delayed, accommodations fall through, and some pets just don't adjust well to new environments.
Yeah, it's all about being prepared and having a plan B, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we also need to be honest with ourselves about whether our pets are actually cut out for travel.
Yeah, you're right. Some animals might have health issues or behavioral problems that make it really stressful or even unsafe for them to be away from home.
For sure. So it's really important to think about your pet's individual needs and temperament before you decide to take them on a trip. Mm-hmm. And if you're not sure, talk to your vet.
Definitely. They can give you personalized advice based on your pet's specific situation. Another thing to keep in mind is the environmental impact of pet-friendly travel.
Yeah, that's a good point. As more and more people start traveling with their pets, we need to be more aware of our carbon paw print. so to speak.
Right, like air travel, especially those private jets for dogs, can really contribute to greenhouse gas emissions. So choosing more sustainable options like trains or electric vehicles can help lessen our impact.
And when you're looking for places to stay, try to find hotels or rental properties that prioritize sustainability.
Exactly. Things like energy conservation, water efficiency, and waste reduction, all of that makes a big difference. And of course, being a responsible pet owner while you're traveling is super important too.
Oh, absolutely. That means picking up after your pet, keeping them on a leash in designated areas, and being respectful of the local wildlife. We all have a responsibility to protect the environment, even when we're on vacation.
Right. Sustainable travel and responsible pet ownership, they go hand in hand.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but let's shift gears a little bit and talk about the social side of pet-friendly travel. It's an interesting aspect that doesn't always get a lot of attention.
I agree. As pets become more and more a part of our lives, their place in public spaces raises some tricky questions.
Yeah, like some people argue that, not every business should be required to accommodate pets. Some people have allergies or phobias, or they just prefer not to be around animals.
And then you have others who say that pets are family and they should be welcome wherever their humans go. It's definitely a complex issue, and there's no easy answer.
It takes open communication and empathy and a willingness to compromise on everyone's part.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it's about finding a balance, right? Between the needs of pet owners and the comfort of everyone else. We've got to find ways to live together peacefully in a world where pets are becoming more and more a part of everyday life.
Well said. Okay, so let's zoom out for a minute and think about the big picture. What does this whole pet-friendly travel boom tell us about how our relationship with animals is changing?
Well, I think it shows that we're starting to recognize how important animal companionship is in our lives.
Right. Pets provide, emotional support. They help us de-stress, and they contribute to our overall well-being. In a world that's increasingly busy and digital, having a furry friend can really ground us and remind us of the simple things in life.
I mean, they teach us about unconditional love and loyalty and the importance of living in the moment. And this desire to share travel experiences with them, I think, it speaks volumes about how deep that connection is.
It really is. So
Right.
now the big question, the one that's probably on everyone's mind, is pet-friendly travel just a passing fad, or is it here to stay?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Based on everything we've talked about, I think it's safe to say it's more than just a fad.
I agree. The demand for pet-friendly services is growing like crazy, and the travel industry is definitely responding with new and innovative offerings.
Exactly. From those luxury pet-friendly hotels to chartered flights for dogs, the options are constantly expanding. And as millennials and Gen Z, the generations that are known for being really attached to their pets as they start to travel more, this trend is only going to get bigger.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that pet-friendly travel is here to stay.
And I, for one, am excited to see where it goes from here. It's like a whole new world of adventure waiting to be explored with our best friends by our side.
Absolutely. But before we get too carried away with our wanderlust, let's take a step back and try to sum up what we've learned from all these articles.
Okay, let's distill the essence of this pet travel phenomenon.
Okay, so we've talked about a lot, from those fancy pet-friendly hotels to how this trend could be impacting the environment. What's the big takeaway here? What's the main point our listeners should remember?
I think the big thing is that this whole pet-friendly travel thing, it's not just some, passing trend. It really shows a pretty big change in how we see our pets. It's not just about bringing them along on trips. It's more about recognizing that they're a big part of our lives and creating these experiences that make both of our lives better.
And that change, it's causing this ripple effect in the whole travel industry. Businesses are having to adapt and cater to pet owners and what they want.
Exactly, yeah. We're seeing it everywhere.
Yeah.
Hotels are offering special menus for pets, and some airlines are even rethinking how they design their cabins to better accommodate animals. But it's not just about luxury. It's about making it possible for more people to travel with their pets, no matter what their budget is.
Yeah, like those discounted train tickets for pets in Europe that we were talking about. That's a great example. It opens up a whole world of possibilities for people who might not have been able to travel with their pets before.
And it's not just about the logistics of it all. It's about that emotional connection, the joy of sharing new experiences with your companion. Imagine, hiking through a national park with your dog, or watching a beautiful sunset with your cat curled up next to you.
Yeah, it's about making those memories that you'll both cherish forever.
Exactly. But, amidst all this excitement, it's important to remember that being a responsible pet owner is still crucial, especially when you're traveling.
Yeah, that's a really good point. We have to be aware of the impact our pets might have on the environment, and be considerate of other people who might not be as thrilled about animals as we are.
Yeah, with a little bit of planning and consideration, I think, we can all enjoy the benefits of pet-friendly travel and make sure it's a positive experience for everyone.
Definitely. So after digging into all these fascinating parts of pet-friendly travel, I have one last question for you. If you could go anywhere in the world on a dream vacation with your furry friend, where would it be?
Oh, that's a tough one. There are so many amazing places to choose from. But, if I had to pick, I think I'd go on a cross-country road trip with my dog, explore all those incredible national parks, the quirky roadside attractions, all those hidden gems that America has to offer.
Yeah, I can see it now, Epic hikes, campfires under the stars, endless belly rubs.
And tons of photo ops, of course. Got to capture all those adorable moments.
Well, there you have it, folks. The pet-friendly travel boom is in full swing, and it's changing the way we experience the world with our beloved animal companions.
Right.
From luxurious hotels to all sorts of exciting activities, the possibilities are pretty much endless.
So grab your furry best friend, pack your bags, and get ready to explore the world together.
Because as we've learned today, the best travel companions often come with 4 legs and a wagging tail.
And with that, we'll leave you with one final thought.
Where will your next adventure take you and your furry friend?